Hey everyone, it's me, I'm the guy, and I am ranking Tekken characters. No, for no particular reason, not like there's a really anticipated Tekken game coming up, but I took a serious look at perhaps ranking Tekken games, but there's not that many. Like, you think 8 is a lot, but it's not, because there's not even that many spin-offs. Well, there is Death by Degrees, Nina Williams, but we don't have to talk about that one. Aside from like Tekken Revolution, like Tekken Advance, I mean that tier list would be over in like 10 minutes. But you know what Tekken has a lot of? All these crazy dudes and dudettes and monsters and aliens and dinosaurs. So why don't we go through this? Now, listen, folks, this is my own personal ranking of how I like each Tekken character through various reasoning. Oh, what their design is, how powerful I think they are, how cool I think they are, and then how lame I think they are, and how, like, kind of useless power-wise they are and stuff. But this is by no means me going, your favorite character sucks. You'd think I wouldn't need to say this type of stuff in 2023, but you sometimes do. So there are a few weirdos in here that I actually don't know what to say about. Fortunately, I have, starting from the bottom tier, don't know them. Dad, don't know her, don't know him, don't know them. What the hell? Then we have punching bags, which is just, I know them, but they're just punching bags, obviously. Jobbers are middle of the road. I don't have much to say. They certainly exist. They're there to make other characters look good. That's what a jobber is. Solid B plus fighters. You know, that makes sense. Yeah, just above a jobber, but they're not winning any tournaments anytime soon. We have the head of Tekken forces. They are dependable to do stuff, and they can take some people out if they so choose. But yeah, they're not much more than that. The assistant to the CEO. Now, the assistant to the CEO of what, you may ask? The assistant to the CEO of Mishima Inc. So, yeah, assistant to the CEO is, again, like, just one of those characters that can never rise above their station, but they certainly have something to offer. And CEO of Mishima Inc. is that, like, that's your A plus characters, right? And above that is your S, and that is King of Iron Fist, or King or Kings or Queens, whatever you like. So that's what we're dealing with for our tier list today. And of course, we're going to be starting this tier list with one of the greatest Tekken characters of all, Akuma. Listen, it's hard to rank him because in Tekken, where do you rank Akuma? But I guess I'm gonna have to think of like what he brought to the game he was introduced in, and it got a lot of people hype, not gonna lie, right? There's another character too, guest character specifically, that was like, oh no, that's way more awesome. So right now, let's stick Akuma there at head of Tekken forces. I think he's kind of in the middle there, and even though he had some importance to the story of Tekken 7, wasn't like a lot, but he's brutal to fight against, and he's very fun to fight as. You know what? Let's move up to assistant to CEO. Next up is Roger. Roger. Sometimes I think Alex, but I'm almost positive he's Roger. Roger and Roger Jr. No, he's Alex. Damn it, he's Alex. I'm so silly. Roger and Roger Jr. That's what those guys are. But yeah, Alex. It is a jobber, I would think. Definitely not a punching bag. You know, it's probably another Mishima experiment. I forget his kind of backstory. It's been a while since he's appeared in a storyline mainline game, but I think, you know, such a creature exists to job, I think. Next up we have Alyssa, whatever. Listen, I'm not much of a fan of her, but she's not a jobber for sure. She has to be above that. I think she's a solid B plus player. There's plenty of silly characters in Tekken, but I think she errs just on the side of a little too silly. Like, you're at an 11, bring it down to like an 8 in terms of silliness. Still though, chainsaws, her backstory is still, you know, kind of interesting. So I can't take that away from her. Ogre. Now, this is not true ogre, it's just ogre, but to me, this is true ogre. This is like a sick-ass design. I much prefer it to Ogre's other forms. I thought he's such a sick protagonist. Such a sick antagonist in Tekken 3 that you made for a perfect foil. The god of fighting. Probably up there is one of my favorite bosses in Tekken history. Not quite King of Iron Fist though. Like Akuma is just like, you know, I think this makes sense to me because he can't be higher than a Tekken created character that like started off in that series, so that makes sense to me. Next up we have Angel. I think this is her design from Tekken Tag 2. I honestly don't know all that much about her, but yeah, it's a solid design. But I think she's almost like underused and has potential. But they don't ever expand upon it because Devil and Angel makes sense, but in my understanding of the lore, she's not given much storyline importance in terms of the Devil Gene and stuff. She's just like a cool extra character they had in Tekken 2. Right now, I don't see her being a solid B+ fighter. I think Jobber makes more sense to me because she jobs to the Devil Gene. Oh, all these Angel fans are gonna come at me. Anyway, next up we have Ana. I very much flip-flop between who I like more between Ana and Nina. She's a definite assistant. She's a definite assistant. I do like Ana a lot, actually. Shame what they did to her in the Tekken live-action movie. I think that was her. I don't really remember it now. Even though I watched that movie with Matthew. Link in description. So yeah, I think an assistant, very Vice mature vibes for Ana. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Armor King. This may or may not be Armor King 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter because regardless, Armor King's awesome. Definite head of Tekken forces. I don't think Armor King trumps Standard King to me. And I want to put Standard King higher, but let's leave Armor King at head of Tekken forces for now. Asuka Kazama. I think in the game that Asuka was introduced in, Tekken 5, like Asuka's really awesome in there. But I think as time goes on, like she gets less storyline importance. She's more like a side character, and I kind of wish they would do a bit more for her. Not solid B+. Definitely head of Tekken forces, I think, for now. Not quite to CEO yet, but I would love it if she got more shit to do in the other games going forward. I doubt she'll have much else to do in Tekken 8, but, you know, hope to be wrong. Back. This is a tough one because there's another character that's very similar to Bayek who I much prefer. So I'm going to put Bayek to Jobber right now. When you do, it's one thing for games because there's a lot of nuance within games, but there's not a lot of nuance for just characters. Like people either like them or they dislike them, and there's no in between. So I can imagine people being pissed with this, but I just don't have that much reverence for Bayek, right? Bob is special, right? Bob is special because this is this type of character done well, whereas Rufus is done very, very poorly. Like in the battle between Rufus and Bob, Bob wins 12 times out of 10 easily. It's such a cooler, better conceptualized character than Rufus was or ever will be. I think Bob. Let's leave him ahead of Tekken Forces for now. I think that makes sense, right? Bruce. I think Bruce is solid B. Hasn't really had much, going on lately. But Bruce is still very cool. I think they could like really update him and do something different with him if he ever comes out in Tekken 8. Brian Fury. That is an assistant to the CEO for sure. Might even go up to CEO. I think Brian Fury is awesome. And he was done fairly well in the Tekken live action movie, which is rare that you're not going to see that many characters that gets that distinction. I kind of wish they'd do something even crazier with Brian. Like Brian takes over, wins King of the Iron Fist, or becomes much more important in the storyline. And I especially like Brian in the last couple of games. Like Tekken 3 is kind of not bland, but compared to his later appearances, he's way cooler like now than he ever was before. So very happy with Brian. Christie. Christy doesn't get nearly as much play as she should, but at the same time, she's essentially a clone character, so it's a little rough. One character usually fades away for the other to take their place for a bit. Maybe they go back and forth. I wish Christy would come back in some sort of way. I mean, she was in Tekken Tag 2, pretty sure. But yeah, I barely play Tekken Tag 2, which is a shame, I know. I wish they'd report that to modern systems and stuff. She's like close to being an assistant to the CEO, like close to being Anna, but no, she's not quite there. So head of Tekken Forces. Claudio, I don't think they're a solid... Definitely a solid B+ or jobber, not much more than that, because I think Claudio, another character we'll get to later, they kind of like run together, they melt together a little bit, and they don't leave a big impression to me. But I'm gonna stick with solid B+ right now. I don't think that he's quite a jobber. No, that's too much. Combat's a punching bag. Combat is a punching bag, because there's another character that's like him that of course we'll get to that I like more, and Combat is literally a punching bag when you think about it, made for that express purpose. I assume this is Devil Jin. Yeah, there's a regular Jin coming up. Devil Jin, King of Iron Fist. Easily. Devil Jin is so cool. You know, Final Fantasy VII is fine. I have respect for it, but not much more than that. Sephiroth is cool, but not much more than that. Like, Devil Jin is my Sephiroth. That hit me just at the right thing. I wrote fan fiction about Tekken 3 when that was new back in the day, and I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool. What, like, that idea when he got the glowing tattoo on his head. And in modern games, like, I love what they do with Devil Jin now, where like Jin's just kind of using it to his advantage. He's not expressly evil with it, but Devil Jin's super cool. His design does vary. There's ones I'm like, I kind of prefer that one to the other one, and there's one or two I'm like, that's a little too much. Then there's others that are like, perfect. But Devil Jin is a King of Iron Fist for sure. This is Devil Kazumi, and this is an amazing design. This is a super sick design for like a female fighter with the devil gene in them. I don't have a lot of exposure with her that much, but I mean, like, she looks so sick, so it doesn't really matter. You know, very Neo Tengu vibes from Dead or Alive, but I'm sure that all goes back to myth and mythology regardless. But I think they look really, really cool. You know what? No, let's drop her down to assistant, because I don't know her that much. And does that mean she should go above Anna and Akuma and fucking Brian? No. But she looks hot as hell anyway. So this is Devil Kazuya. This is Double Devil Kazuya. And I'm gonna be honest, this design is not my favorite. I think it's a bit overdone, in all honesty. It reminds me of something more out of Devil May Cry, which is fine for Devil May Cry. Don't get me wrong, but there's something that's like, this character's like barely Kazuya anymore, right? When I first saw this picture of this portrait, I was like, wait, who's that? I was like, oh yeah, he had that other form in Tekken 7. So I'm gonna drop that down to head of Tekken Forces. Still cool though, still Kazuya, because Kazuya will always be at a certain level. I can see them being on a relative force of characters. Tekken Force, if you will. Dr. B. It's these types of characters that really make you think, make you tap the old noggin there. I don't even think he's a jobber. I think he's a punching bag. Not to shit on his scientific accomplishments, but I don't have any interest in like playing as Doc Brown in a Tekken game. A fun bonus character in Tekken 3 for sure, but not more than that, and not more than a lot of other bonus guest characters. / guest characters, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, a punching bag. I feel bad for you, Doc. You work so hard making weird shit. Dragunov is an instant assistant to the CEO. Yeah, alongside Brian Fury. Eddie's designs in the last couple of years have been pretty sick. So I'm happy for that for him. Sad he missed out on a few games in there, but like, he's still super cool. I do hope he gets added in, him or Christy in Tekken 8 eventually. I like to think he would be. Head of Tekken Forces. Yeah, I don't know which one I like more than. Yeah, no, maybe assistant. along with Brian and Dragunov, yeah, okay. That Eddie, you just mashed buttons into the assistant to the CEO office there. You just spun your way. Good stuff. Eliza. Now, I'm gonna say outright, between this design and this design, like, this is way cooler looking. And Kazumi is just kind of cool than this free-to-play character from Tekken Revolution, but not a jobber either, so she's a solid B+ player. She could not be in the game, I wouldn't really care, but if Devil Kazumi wasn't in the game, if she didn't exist, maybe she'd be a bit higher. She's just too cool looking. But good stuff, Eliza. You got a B. All right, Fakumram, I think. There's such a thing as a character being too cool looking, in the sense that, like, look how beastly this guy is, but they don't have a lot of, like, urgency in the story, or anyone being really intimidated by them, even though this guy is super intimidating. But he comes across more as, like, I'm just a generic muscle guy in the grander scheme of things. He looks cool, don't get me wrong, but he's just missing something else. Like, he's over-designed in too many areas and he's under-designed in others, if that makes any sense. Yeah, not as cool as Armor King. Not as cool as I don't like them as much as Armor King or Christy or Asuka. So yeah, solid B+ player for them. I don't think this is the type of character, like, I don't see them coming back anytime soon. You know, if there's a Tekken Tag 3, certainly. I just don't think he's all that interesting when you get down to it. But maybe I need another game, or like a slight redesign, or like an alternate costume to get me on board. Fang easy assistant. Fang is like Fakumram, but like just way cooler. Just like this beast of a man who everyone's super scared of. Even though he also doesn't have a lot of storyline urgency with everything else that's going on in the top levels. But he's just like so sick. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I've been exposed to Fang over the years, like since Tekken 5, right? So I think that gives him an advantage over Fakumram. Anyone that's the CEO or the King of Iron Fist, they'll be like, yeah, just, you're on my team, bro. They'll pick them first to be on their side. Easy. All right, Forest Law. We have not seen Forest in quite a while, although I think he was in Tekken Tag 2. I can never remember. Tekken Tag 2's insane roster. But listen, Forest is... Okay, yeah. Forrest is a solid B+ player because his dad is way cooler than him. Sometimes new generation characters work and sometimes they don't. I don't think Forrest was one that, like, really needed to happen. I'm happy that Marshall has a son. Good for you. But yeah, he's just not as cool as Marshall. Sorry. Okay, Ganryu. If we had stopped before, if Tekken 7 had not gotten the DLC, it would have gone... Ganryu would be a jobber or even a punching bag, maybe. But since he got this pretty good redesign and he's a funny character, a little silly, not too much, I don't think he's a jobber anymore. He's a solid B+ now. But if we were before Tekken 7, or before, like, let's say he never came back in Tekken 7, then I'd be like, oof, yeah, like, he's down the list for sure. But yeah, he's solid, you know, very solid and girthy. You know, that's kind of his deal. Probably one of the better sumo characters in fighting games. Here we go. So this is the guest character I was alluding before. Geese is just so fucking cool. When I first saw the hype trailers at that one Evo where Geese was announced, I just lost my mind. I know he isn't a Tekken character, but he's done so well. His voice is perfect, his character model is perfect, his moveset's sick. One of his alternate costumes I don't really care for at all. But like Geese being in King of the Iron Fist, being in Tekken is just the sickest shit ever. Way more than Akuma for me specifically. I don't know why that is. I think it's because Geese fits better. And I know that's crazy to say because there's devils, there's gods, there's monsters and everything. But just Akuma just feels more like he belongs in Street Fighter. And Geese feels like he belongs more in Tekken. I hope that explains it well. But like these are my two bros up here in King of the Iron Fist. I mean, guess what? Shocker, there's gonna be other ones too. But like, love Geese, love this man, love the goose. All right, Gygas, someone please buff him. Solid B plus. Definitely not a jobber, but honestly, I don't have much to say about them. Oh! 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 Yeah, I did it. This is easy. I can understand any of you younger kids out there having no clue what the fuck Gone is, because he only appeared in one game, Tekken 3, on the original PlayStation. So that's the one time. I don't know why they don't relicense this character. If Gon came back as a DLC fighter in Tekken 8, like, it'll go down as the greatest Tekken game of all time, easily. The game could have crap netcode, doesn't matter. If Gon showed up again, I'd lose my fucking shit. I'd pee my ass, man. That'd be so crazy. When I go to Evo again this year, and they show a trailer with God, oh my God, I'd pass out. Easy King of Iron Fist character, super cute, super fun, little dino. Like, look, these are the three people that will lead the entire franchise going forward. I love how two of them aren't even Tekken characters. Heihachi, I mean, no, never mind. He's like, what do I even need to say? Am I glad he's not in Tekken 8? I'm not glad, but I do think there needs to be a break from Heihachi to figure out to do something. It does, if he actually is like super dead, is never coming back, or at least for several years, we're going to go a few Tekken games without him. I think that's okay, but I don't even know what you're supposed to do at that point. Reboot the franchise? But we'll see what Harada and the Tekken team will be doing. But I mean, what you think I wasn't going to put Heihachi up here? All right, Hwang. So here's the thing. I wish there was another portrait, because I hate this costume for Hwang. Love his default in Tekken 8. I wish that picture was this. But I just hate this design. He just looks like such a generic anime pro tag, and someone pressed random on the Tekken character creator or whatever. It's just not him. I don't like this portrait, but I'm looking beside that. Hwang is a CEO. He's a CEO of Mishima. I do kind of wish they'd bring back his rivalry with Jin a bit more, like raise Hwang up one more level. You know what I mean? I've been saying that with a lot of characters, so. But he's a definite CEO, definitely not an assistant. Like, one of the best characters introduced in Tekken 3, and I think has been in every single Tekken game since then, right? All right, Jack, we're on Jack 8 now, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of Jack, but he's in every single game. They do some fun things with him every so often, but there's a similar character to him where I'm like, it's a better version of kind of what they do, where he has a different form each time. But in terms of a fighting robot that's not Mega Man, yeah, Jack is ahead of Tekken Force. Yeah, definitely not assistant, but I think he's earned a place to be more than a B plus fighter. So good stuff, Jack. All right, got JC. Listen, JC, are they technically a brand new character? No, but it doesn't matter. Because one of the greatest gimmicks of all is if your gimmick is that you have another gimmick. So if you put on any type of wrestling gear which hides your face somewhat, and you just say, I'm this character now, that's awesome. So that's an easy head of Tekken Force for me. So good stuff, JC. All right, Jinpachi. Jinpachi is an assistant because I hated fighting Jinpachi so much in Tekken 5, because that's the one I played the most out of all of them, and I really hate him for that reason. But this is like the buffest, scariest old man character I can think of in fighting games. I wish he will never come back. I think we can move on from Jinpachi. At the same time, he's still super intimidating. His design is pretty sick, just inverse Heihachi hair, that's his beard. I don't know. They went buck wild with this character, and I'm glad that they did. All right, just Jen Kazama, like, he's there. Just put him there. Probably one of in my top 10 of favorite fighting game characters of all time. Like, I don't know why this tier list separated Devil Jin. I mean, really, I don't know what the real point of that is, but maybe it's just going design-wise, whatever. Jin, and I love what they're doing now. I know a lot of people have been over the years like, oh, I hate how they turned him evil. I'm like, nah, man, that's sick. Because you can then go back. You can go back if you like. That's fine. Any character that shows any sort of evolution, it always gives them a chance to go back to somewhere else. And I know that's kind of like maybe pointless, but it just gives room for the character to play and grow and do different things versus they always be the same in every single iteration. So Jin, easy. You know what? Just put, yeah, that's good. You know what? Let's just order this up a bit better here. Like, I think that's fine. So yeah, Jin Kazama, just sick design. He has so many sick designs. There's one or two I'm like, I think that one's a little overdone. But his Tekken 4 look with the hood and the tracksuit, you know, iconic fashion style. And then just go back to his karate pants with the flame on the side. And just all of his shit, his importance in the storyline, like absolute goat of the Tekken universe, which is crazy considering he missed out on the first two games, but has been the bedrock of it for ever since. So yeah, Jin, like, I love you, my dude. And Josie, I think Josie's fun. I think Josie's on a. No, I haven't played enough as her to really put her higher than a solid B+. I like JC and yeah, Christy and Asuka like a little bit more. So I think solid B+. You could do some more things with her, but I also feel like there's one or two characters that are already a little similar to her and kind of her attitude and sort of cheery disposition. So I think we'll leave her there for now. All right, Julia Chang. So I do think that giving her the whole streaming persona does help her stand out a bit more, but I don't think I like that as much as these other characters. So I'm going to put her down to solid B+ player. I don't really know why. I think it's because like before she was shown off in Tekken 7, like Sakura was kind of doing that thing, that sort of like, you know, esports gamer sort of thing in when they were reintroduced in Street Fighter V. So I kind of felt like, oh, well, I've kind of seen this thing before a little bit. Rashid also kind of does it a tiny bit as well. So, you know, just fighter obsessed with like technology and being a little bit more contemporary. So I kind of feel like I'd seen the gimmick like once or twice beforehand, and it kind of lessened the uniqueness just a tiny bit. I still like her though. I think it was kind of like interesting to do that to a legacy character that's been around for quite a bit, but I'm not sure if I prefer it compared to original guys. So how am I supposed to separate the two, because this is the only portrait for Julia? But yeah, I think I prefer this gimmick just a tiny bit more, because wrestling. All right, Jun. So this is her older design, and the one that she has in Tekken 8 is just so much cooler. Like, this is still good and everything, but Jun is definitely up there. I think she might be CEO. Yeah. I just think like of all these like serene characters that like, you know, practice martial arts, but they're like, you know, don't kill people, be responsible about it, and having this kind of like, you know, heavenly sort of feel to her and her moves and stuff. Like, I think she's just very cool. Like, she's not like the most interesting has all this depth and like, you know, crazy shit she can do, or like, you know, personality traits. She's just like kind of, you know, what she is, but I think she does that really well, and like Tekken needs a character like that. It's like a better version of Angel, kind of, to me, if that makes any sense. So I am confident that she is a CEO boss lady. All right, Katarina, not a jobber. I think she can only be solid B+, because she's not a jobber, but I feel like there's a couple other characters that are kind of similar to her now. I mean, really, she's got a different fighting style, but she's not that much different than Christy, and I kind of prefer Christy, in all honesty, just in terms of design and such. You know, even hairstyle is pretty similar and stuff. So yeah, certainly not bad, but not, you know, massively memorable to me. All right, Kazumi, just her regular form, assistant to CEO. I think she's the tiger, like all that shit, I think. And just this default design, she just looks amazing, gorgeous even. You're giving me all this, girl. It's sad that I don't think she's ever coming back because she was like a weird ghost memory in Tekken 7. I don't really remember. As for a character that came out of nowhere that is like, has connections to the past, like I'm here now, you know, just pulling that out of their ass, like she's incredible. Probably one of my like, yeah, up here, yeah. She's like in my top 3 of female characters, certainly in Tekken. And given that the fact that she's so new, that's pretty sick. All right, Kazuya, I mean, yeah, like what am I? Yeah, just regular Kazuya. I think that makes the most sense. Just yeah, these main characters. I mean, Devil Jin's not really a character, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, the entire Mishima bloodline is King of Iron Fist. I mean, I don't think anyone can really argue this. Feel free to argue in the comments if you like. That's fine. It's, you know, I'm glad that we got like one game with him away. Was that Tekken 5? I can't remember. But yeah, Kazuya will always be there. But I kind of, between all 3 of them, I kind of either prefer Heihachi or like he's third from these. That's why I've slotted them as such. And that's fine, you know, someone has to be second, someone has to be third, you know, between 3 very similar characters. If Jin had never come along, though, then that would have been, like, hard to choose between the 2 of them. But, I mean, now we got, like, 2 versions of Jin, so Kazuya didn't really have much of a chance to beat that. But, yeah, clearly a King of Iron Fist. Yeah, CEO. I know this seems like a joke up here, but I'm very serious about it. Anyway, yeah, definite CEO. He'd be the head of the wrestling department. Just doing that, just making money off wrestling somehow. Just every version of King is just the coolest. I don't even know what to say. I wish you'd give him... I hate the fact that in Tekken Bloodlines, the Netflix animated show, the 3D one, that like he was in it, he does cool moves, and he gets one shred of backstory. Like he's in it and has a sick fight. I'm like, just do more with this fucking guy. I sometimes hate that we got a Nina Williams spin-off game and not some type of wrestling spin-off game with just King as the central character. Wouldn't that have been the sickest? Wouldn't that have been a better idea? All right, here's the character that I added that was missing from this tier list. Azazelel. Anyway, it's this ancient Egyptian monster thing from Tekken 6. Sometimes I forget. I feel like this is a jobber character. I feel like it's a jobber character. Yeah. Because this just strikes me as a monster of the week. This just strikes me as a Power Rangers villain that shows up for that one episode. Like, he gets released by Zafina, I think. And, yeah, that's all. It's just monster. It just felt like a lesser version of Ogre. And I think Ogre is way cooler than Azazelel. I do like ancient Egyptian myth and stuff, but I don't think it encapsulates that. If it was just like Anubis, that's what it kind of feels like a bottom shelf Anubis, really. There's still another boss to come that I still prefer. I think they kind of jobby. It got a big smack of jobber off as well. At first I was like, oh no, they're really cool thing. Hey, no, I don't think so, actually. All right, I mean, fucking Kuma. Yeah. I would trust the entire business if Kuma was at the head of it. And I'm still convinced that Heihachi's soul is stuck in Kuma's body for Tekken 8. I'm still holding on to some hope that's the storyline here. That his soul will live on in his pet bear. But yeah, this can't really be disputed. I don't think you can. Just all he needs is a good fight and a nice big juicy fish, right? And you can't hate that. Right? Kunimitsu, head of Tekken Force's original Kunimitsu. And just following off that, I really like Kunimitsu too. So I'm going to put them up to assistant. I really like their design in Tekken 8. So I think I'm putting that a little bit ahead. But yeah, it's just one of those like more mysterious characters that doesn't get a lot of play, but like their design looks so cool, and I don't know, just something about them. It's that perfect level of mystery where it's like, hey, what's going on over there? But it's not so generic and so mysterious that you don't really get a good sense about them. So I think I'm happy with that. Lars, I used to hate Lars quite a bit in Tekken 6. but I still don't like them as much as these characters up here. So, but Lars has gotten some decent things to do in the last game or two. So I don't think I can do, just in Tekken 7 I meant. And Tekken 8 seems like he's got more storyline importance. And he struck me as kind of a Poochie at first in Tekken 6. And I think that's still true for Tekken 6. But I think they're able to somehow get away from that a little bit in Tekken 7, definitely in Tekken 8, from the little I've played of it and seen of it. So I think an assistant makes sense for Lars at this juncture. All right, Marshall gotta be up there. Just keeps getting more swole as he gets older somehow. Like in Tekken 8, it's ridiculous, but they've done some fun things with him. Give him nunchucks as like a regular weapon and everything, which I think he needed. Like his moveset was getting a little bit stale. But yeah, super cool. We're gonna get another character right alongside him pretty soon. I think that makes for a good duo. But like, certainly a bit more interesting than Force. Hey, they're even stacked on top like that. That's fun. That works out. Excellent. No, that's another assistant, I think. Literally, he's an assistant to the CEO of Mishiva. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, kind of, to me, reaches apex in Tekken 5 with his ending and stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised they're able to kind of take this jokey character and elevate the material to a certain level. So that's where Li Chaolan fits in. All right, Lei Wulong. So I kind of prefer Lei Wulong in Tekken 3 to like this new design. Obviously, they didn't want Jackie Chan to start doing any type of lawsuit. As graphics got better, they couldn't really model him so closely after Jackie, so I think they did this thing with him. It's very similar to what they did with Julio down here, but I'm not sure how much I really liked it. I don't think that's ahead of Tekken 4. I think that's another solid B+ fighter for me. Nothing really against him. I just think it was a fighter that was gone for too long. When he came back, they're like suddenly did this design, and like Julia, I'm like, I don't know how much it worked. If he comes back in Tekken 8 and does some other stuff and maybe, see what his storyline, maybe that might change in the future along with Julia, but yeah, he's a solid B. All right, Leo. Leo's pretty unique, all things considered. When they were first introduced in Tekken 6, like I didn't know what to think about the character. I was like, are they like Rock Howard? Like what is? And it's again a perfect bit of mystery to the characters. Like what really is your backstory? What are you really interested in doing? And they just have this certain level where they're very distinct. And you feel like, would a Tekken game really feel like complete without them? They just kind of snuck in there. It's like, okay, well, yeah, Leo's cool. And then after a while, I was like, wow, Leo's really sick. I think what they've done with Leo in Tekken 8, especially their super attack, which I thought looked really, really awesome. I think they fit in nicely in the Tekken universe. And I'm surprised, because some Tekken 6 characters, I'm like, kind of like, they're all right, But yeah, Leo and Lars, big ups to both of you for making it, Leroy. Damn, Leroy, that's an easy CEO. Such a late character to be added into Tekken 8, like brand new. Leroy is definitely up there. Rada and his art team saw a vision, and they're like, let's execute that vision. I think Rada said, I set out to make the coolest character I can think of. And I think he succeeded. And then, dog on top? Yeah, please. More of that. Speaking of more of that, Lily and her cat Salt, easy CEO. I don't know why Justin and Max hate Lily so much. There's an episode of TKO. They're like, yeah, whatever. I was like, these motherfuckers are insane. How would Lily not be this high? They must be high if they don't think she's this high. Crazy slander. Lily is an easy CEO. I might prefer her, since it's a similar character to Karen Kanzuki in Street Fighter, I might prefer her. And I don't even really know why. I just think she's a better executed version. Like, Karen was too nice in Street Fighter 5, whereas Lily is just like, what she is. And the cat on top of it. I mean, how can you go wrong? Right, so I'm not Kenny, so I'm not going to put... I was about to say Saucy Jenny. Lucky Cleo is not a punching bag. She's not a jobber either. But again, she kind of falls in this thing of Elisa. I'm like, still a little bit too silly. I don't know, like, not to say that Tekken can't have silly characters. There's plenty, but I think there's like a line, and she just crossed over. I'm like, I don't know. I just can't take you seriously as as a strong fighter in the King of Iron Fist. But it's still, a solid archetype to kind of put in there. Therefore, it makes sense to be a solid B+ fighter. Craig, Craig's an interesting one. I didn't like him that much initially in Tekken 4, but then they've grown him out to be something pretty badass. And again, I think it's like an earned badassness where they kind of grew him a little bit, like, first a rival with King, and then, like, they kind of turned into tag partners and stuff. And again, I think he's a better executed version of Fakumram. I think that's his name. So yeah, just ultimate badass. Oh wait, like, we're gonna do this with them now. Oh, we're gonna change his design. And I think again that comes with experience and being around since Tekken 4. And I just think, like, this dude, like, should be a real wrestler in real life. Well, King should be as well. And JC. I wish all of these wrestlers were real. Master Raven looks so fucking sick. Master Raven is easy CEO. One of the sickest designs in, like, the entire game. I wish they were introduced a bit earlier, and then we could have more games of Master Raven. But then again, they replace Raven sometimes, so which looks like which is being done now in Tekken 8. But Master Raven, just like absolute peak, like embarrassingly cool. Like, you start to mark out to how cool Master Raven is and how she looks. So that's an easy CEO. All right, now Michelle Chang, the original. I really like this design, in all honesty, but not quite a CEO. I would put her above this current Julia, but then that's not fair, because, like, I liked Tekken 3 Julia quite a bit actually. But I don't know why I feel this way, but there's something about Michelle where I'm like, she's the OG. Maybe she should get a placement above it, and I think I'm gonna stick with that for now. Very cool design, by the way. If I hadn't already said it. Wait, I did. Doesn't matter. I love you, Michelle. I love you too, Julia, but I have to take a stand. All right, Miguel's a jobber to me. I'm sorry. There must be some fans of Miguel out there. I just doesn't make a very big impression to me. Just doesn't have a lot of storyline importance. Just kind of bleeds together with a couple of the characters, like Claudio. Where is Claudio? Claudio, where are you? Where is Claudio? I can't even find him. Wait, so I can't. There he is. Okay, he's right there. Yeah, just kind of a less interesting version of a lot of other, like, fighting game archetypes, and just doesn't. I sometimes forget he exists. And again, I don't think he's bad or anything. Very few of these characters I think are bad. I don't even think Combat or Boskanovich are bad. They're just, like, almost nothing. Like, no, this shows how sick Tekken's roster is. I don't hate any of these characters. There's some that I really love and some that are fine. And yeah, just mostly fine. I think, honestly, Miguel's just kind of there to job out and make other characters look better. All right, who is this? This is Miharu, I think. Yes, Miharu. This was a palette swap of someone, but she came back in Tekken Tag 2, so I guess she counts as a playable character. I don't know you, sorry. Yeah, I think that's perfect for this character. I don't actually know what you do or what your deal is, really, other than they took a palette swap and made it into a real character, I guess. So yeah, that makes sense to me. Mokujin is a jobber. Easily, but a jobber is still more than a punching bag. I'm just going to go ahead and put Tetsujin in there as well, right? That makes perfect sense. Sorry, I jumped ahead, but I mean, I just had the inclination. This is a supernatural dummy, by the way. It's like a spirit or a ghost or some shit haunting, like, a sacred piece of wood. I kind of forget Tetsujin or Chibi Robo or whatever. I don't know their storyline, but, like, Mokujin's is special. It's a fun thing. And I think that at least elevates them to jobber, you know, essentially having no, like, you know, fighting style of their own. They just cycle through everyone else's. Last time I remember. Did that change in Tekken 7 or some other Tekken Tag 2? I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure that's Mokujin's deal. Negan, listen, I did not get hyped for Negan. I know plenty of people did not, but I'm just pointing him to jobber for now. I think solid B plus because I just don't watch enough Walking Dead. I haven't even watched the seasons that Negan is in. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, great actor, but to me, in terms of a guest character, it's like, yeah, okay, and I kind of still feel that way. Not to say about his fighting style or anything like that, but just, yeah, it didn't make much of an impression. I was like, that's weird, like an American TV character, like that. It's cool that anything can happen in Tekken, but yeah, not quite ahead of the Tekken Forces for me. Did not get hyped as some people did. I think I was more on that other fence. I was like, why? All right, Nina Williams, I don't know if I should hold Death by Degrees against her. It's not her fault. But do I like her more than Anna? No, I like Anna more than a few of these other characters. So yeah, assistant to CEO. I don't think I can actually choose which one I like more. I think very few people can. Honestly, I think very few people can say which one they like more. You have to accept them as they are, and they come as a duo. So yeah, an assistant to the CEO. Congratulations, Nina Williams. All right, Noctis. I barely played any of Final Fantasy 15, but Noctis is definitely more hype than Negan. Yeah, head of Tekken Forces. I think that makes sense. Not quite an assistant CEO. If I had played, if it was Titus, I would. If it was Titus, I would have put like King of Iron Fist or something. If it was Lulu, I would have definitely put them up there. But Noctis, I think he's the head of a Tekken Force. So he does have a very cool moveset. I'll give him that.
This is where this shit comes out. Bam! And then bam! Oh, wait. Then you go bam!
Panda. I can't help but laugh every time I see Panda. I don't like Panda as much as Kuma. I think seeing this picture of Noctis and Panda together is amazing. I think Panda's ahead of a Tekken Force. They're above a B plus player for sure. All right, Paul Phoenix, thank God it's his cool design and not his Tekken 8 default design. Yeah, Paul Phoenix is the CEO. Easy. Put him next to his buddy there, Marshall. If you really want to talk about a Tekken character that's like if he was taken out of Tekken, I'd be like, this is not Tekken. Paul has to be there. Paul never wins the big match, never wins the big one. Didn't he almost win Tekken 3, but like he was late or some shit? Like he thought he knocked someone out, he thought he knocked Kazuya out, but then Kazuya went away. There's like some storyline thing where he kind of missed out. Like he was the champion, but he wasn't really. It's like some dusty finish like for Paul here. I feel bad. Plus, Paul has one of the most tragic endings in Tekken 5 when he's stuck in space and has to fight aliens forever or some shit. I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm too emotional. Alright, Gunjack. Gunjack's a jobber. I don't like Gunjack that much compared to regular Jack. I kind of think, yeah, I think he's constructed to be a jobber. Does he turn into a big gun like Megatron? I forget. Raven's cool, obviously. I don't think I like Raven as much as Master Raven. Sorry, she looks too sick. So, yeah, he's an assistant, I think. That makes sense. I'd like to see if they do some more stuff with the whole Raven clan, I guess, that they seem to be doing in Tekken 8. See where that goes. That'd be interesting. I think he's a cool addition, but he's very clearly modeled after, like, Wesley Snipes and Blade, right? Like, he has to have been. There's a lot of Tekken characters that model after, like, movie stars or, like, influences outside there. So it's like, I give him, like, a notch below, like, Master Raven, because Master Raven just looks fucking cool. Not to say that I dislike Blade design, but, I mean, it's slightly less original just due to that fact. All right, so this is Isaac. This is one of the jobber characters that appear in the Tekken mobile game. They were included in this tier list. Even though I said the word jobbers, they're not. I don't know you. Get the fuck out. All right, Roger and Roger Jr. Roger Jr. are solid B plus players. I think there's something about them that elevates them above Alex. I think that's fair to see. Yeah. Lucky Chloe be on the same level as Roger Jr. Checks out to me. All right, Sebastian. He's someone's butler. Forget who. I think Lily's maybe. That's a punching bag. It's these old men who are just punching bags down here. Shaheen's cool. Shaheen's very, very attractive. I like Shaheen, so that is ahead of Tech. You know what? Yeah, no, head of Tekken Forces. Compared to some of these characters, no, Shaheen's. I think that's a good placement for him. I don't even know who this is. This is another Tekken mobile character. Don't know you. I like that this list was very exhaustive, but at the same time, reading about some of these mobile characters, like they're nothing. They're meant to be just generic fighters to fight, like the ones that you would find in the Street Fighter V Shadows Fall story mode, like the security guards and stuff. Not to say that the designs are terrible. I can barely see much of them, to be honest, but in my little research, I was like, yeah, they seem fine. But I'm like, what else are they supposed to be? But don't know them. Sorry. All right, Thin Jack. Thin Jack is weird. I think Thin Jack is a jobber. I don't know the purpose of Thin Jack, really. I think it's just a fun bonus thing. But I think he jobs to regular, cool, husky Jack. This husky boy? Yeah, he's this jobber, like, shadow clone or whatever. Steve Fox. I mean, damn. Steve Fox, damn, yeah. Steve Fox is the boxer of the entire Tekken universe. He should be up there. Plus, he reminds me a lot of Matthew from Botchamania. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because we drew Matthew as Steve Fox in the Tekken movie review. I think that might be it. But Steve is sick. Definitely has a character arc. You know, a lot of connection to the main overall story, no, but he doesn't really need it because he does have his own interesting shit going on. Plus, his name is Steve Fox and he has the Union Jack on his trunks. What else could you want? Tiger, I think Tiger's fun, right? I think Tiger, even though he's just basically a different, slightly more than an alt costume for Eddie, I think he's still been elevated a bit higher than just, like, let's say a jobber or a punching bag. We certainly know him. I'd like Tiger to just come back. Like, Tiger is just basically the JC to Julia Chang, right? A little bit, something like that. Maybe he has a little less storyline than that. Someone that I know has something going on like that is... yeah, Lee's over here, Violet's down here. Violet's still kind of weird to me. I think it was another persona that Lee made to avoid something. I actually forget, unfortunately. But yeah, it's still at their heart, they're just Lee, and I can't hate them for that. True Ogre, Ancient Ogre, whatever you want to say. Listen, they're not a jobber. They can't be anything. But, like, just for my sanity's sake, I just think their design is just more generic than regular Ogre. Ogre Vanilla. I don't even know what to call it. Ogre and True Ogre, whatever. I just kind of think this looks like, every monster you fight in, like, a God of War game or, like, World of Warcraft. There's just something about them where I'm like, you just have less personality now. You're just like a berserk beast or something, whereas, like, evil intent behind the eyes of this version of Ogre. So that's how I feel. I'm gonna stick to that. Unknown is sick as fuck. We haven't seen her in so long, but I love Unknown. Just sexy lady with gigantic wolf stand. I don't know why she's not back as, like, a boss. Like, make her a boss of Tekken 8 or something. Bring her back as DLC there. There's just something about Unknown. And your name is Unknown? That's so unknown of you. Wang is a jobber. I'm sure he's like 100 years old and he's super powerful, but he jobs, man. He is there to make other characters look good. All right, Ling Xiaoyu. I mean, I did not like her in Tekken 3, but every subsequent game after that, I liked her more and more and more. Now I'm just like, she's awesome. So assistant to CEO. Yeah, I don't like her as much as Jen or Lily, but she's up there now. I just think she's like a mini Chun-Li now, like Chun-Li's younger sister, and that's still like a big deal. That's still a big, that is a good thing to say. Like almost as iconic as Chun-Li is to Street Fighter as she is to Tekken now. So big ups to her for doing that, because when I first saw her design and like how they render her in Tekken 3, I was like, I don't like this character. I don't know. But now she's just sick. Here we go. The man, Yoshimitsu. This is what I was talking about in regards to Jack, where I'm like, a better version of Jack is a character that's been around in like every single game, but keeps evolving, keeps changing. But Yoshi's way cooler than Jack to me, especially. In fact, that's a CEO. That's a CEO for me easily. The squid tentacle design in Tekken 7, it wasn't the biggest fan of. There's just something about it. You'd think I would like it, but I think it was almost a little too alien, a little too weird. There are some earlier designs I liked of him. I really liked his design in Tekken 3, but his design in Tekken 8 is return to form for me personally. I was like, oh no, he looks cool. I still want him to be a ninja, and I kind of find the squid thing was getting a little bit away from that. But yeah, if I was a CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu, I would absolutely require Yoshi to be on my team. All right, Zafina, we're getting down to it. Yeah, she's solid B. She kind of bleeds together with a lot of other characters like Katarina and stuff. I do like her though. I wish I could put her a bit higher, but I don't like her as much as Oscar or Christy or JC or anything like that. Yeah, she's kind of a bigger deal in Tekken 6. I kind of forget now where she actually came from. But yeah, no hate against her at all, but it doesn't leave me with a big overlasting impression of a character that, you know, does a bunch of shit, or I even forget what her fighting style is. So, I mean, that says something. Lydia, my girl. Love this character. One of my favorite Tekken 7 characters, actually. You find Polish characters very, very rarely in fighting games. And I'm just glad that she's got that distinction. Plus, she's the Prime Minister of Poland, which is so sick. I think she has a really, really solid design. But she is erring a little bit on the side of like, I wish she had one other thing going for her. But I think Assistant CEO makes sense for now, because there's a lot to like about her, but I think she just needs an extra oomph somewhere. I don't know, like she needs a storyline thing, like she gets injured and her arm is broken, so she's always fighting in a cast, but she's still really awesome. Like she needs an additional gimmick on top of what she already has, and I think that'll put her over the top and stuff. But for now, very happy to have Lydia, the Prime Minister, being the assistant to the CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu.
So this is the Prime Minister of Poland? The Polish Prime Minister? The Polish Prime Minister!
All right, Asuzena, the perfect brew. Coffee girl from Tekken 8. I love this chick. She is awesome. I like her second costume even more with the gold jacket and the black hat. She looks super cool. I think this is what I'm saying about a character that's silly, but it has not stepped over the line a little bit like Lucky Chloe or Elisa. So I'm definitely putting her above here on Head of Tekken Forces. And she's not any higher because I haven't been able to play her as much. Or was she in the beta? I can't remember now. No, I think she was. Anyway, I think she's a very fun addition to Tekken 8. I hope they do more with her in the future. And yeah, she has a few similarities to some of these other dark-haired fighting lady characters, but I think she just has enough going on that she gets definitely elevated above the likes of Katarina. Yeah, I think I would need to play Tekken 8 a bit more, see her storyline or anything to really appreciate her a bit more. But I think we've seen enough of these Tekken 8 characters where I can still comfortably place them somewhere. And Head of Tekken Forces is where she shall stay. Now we have Vincent, the Mega Master of the Ravens, I think. I think he's pretty solid, but I think he's a bit better than solid. But I don't think much more than that. So that might be like an effect of not being able to play as them. I believe Max was able to play as him when he got to go over to Namco in Los Angeles and play a build with him in it. And he said he was really sick. So that's cool to know. Having an actual, like, you know, from France, French character, I was like, yeah, they have that. Oh, they don't. I actually looked down the list of where everyone's from. I thought Lily was from France. She's not. I was like, oh, okay. So Vincent, that makes sense to have that type of character in Tekken now, right? We're representing a lot of countries. Is there no Canadian in Tekken? I don't think there is. If there is, let me know in the comments. Gon could be Canadian. Not sure. Maybe. I doubt it. So yeah, I think that might be one of the few major countries that doesn't have a Tekken character. Anyway, I think I'm comfortable putting these two Tekken 8 characters there because once I saw them, my first impressions was, oh, this is a sick character, cool. I can't wait to see more, but I don't think I can put them higher than that right now. Oh wait, there is one. This one, I could put them higher up. I can put them higher up. The only reason why Reina is not higher is because I haven't played as her, but she's so cool. They did a really good job with Tekken 8 newcomers, where like there's not a dud amongst them, so that's good. And again, I don't even hate these characters. Even these ones are at the bottom. I don't. You're just nothing. That's all. Don't worry. I'm not trying to be insulting to you. I think that's it. Is that all? They're dead. I killed them all. I ranked them all. So that is my Tekken character tier list. I can't wait to see how much y'all are going to be arguing with me, telling me my tier list is wrong. That's fine. I welcome it all. But yeah, if there are any major disagreements, do let me know in the comments. I'm sure some of you will. Or if you like any like replacements, that type of thing. I think this is really fun. I could probably do this with some other fighting games, especially when there's ones that there's not that many to really talk about. Like you could do this with Street Fighter easily, right? Just ranking Street Fighter games. I can even imagine doing all the Street Fighter characters. That's way more than what Tekken has, I think. I think it is. Anyway. But I hope you enjoyed this tier maker list. Let me know what you thought in the comments as always. And I hope you're enjoying all the Tekken content. There's still more coming because the quest to be the king of Iron Fist never ends.
1, 2, 3, 4, turn the beat back.